What up, guys? This is Casey's Rug, and this is part 5 of my consoles, games, and stories from my past. Uh, I might go ahead and do the 32X and Sega CD in this one. Maybe, maybe not. But this is the Sega Genesis. This is actually my childhood Sega Genesis. Uh, I believe my brother-in-law actually bought the 32X, and I eventually paid $60 to get the Sega CD, but they're going up a little pricey nowadays. Even the more pricier one is the Model 1. This is the Model 2 one. This is the one I always thought of because it's a side disc tray. But, God, I remember going from an NES to the Sega Genesis, and it was like, oh my god, graphics just amazingly went up crazy because how you went from 8-bit to 16 bits, and it's like big time difference. I remember playing a ton of Genesis games with my brother. One of the biggest ones I remember playing with him was NBA Jam. Oh my god, for the Genesis, we played that a shitload of times. There was an add on, not a lot of people know. I wish I still had the thing. It was called the Sega Channel, where there's a coax going into the cartridge, and they would load up 50 new games every month. So I enjoyed that for a few years. I believe it was $15 a month, but 15 new games to play. It was a hell of a deal back in the day. Um, so pretty much this is why I love Sega so much is because the Sega Genesis. Here is the Sega Genesis box. Originally, my brother-in-law bought this. He actually was smart enough to bought this. At $25, I was like, I already have a Sega Genesis. I really don't need it. But I was like, I love the box though. So I was on the fence. Nowadays, I would do it in a heartbeat. But I don't know why I was wavering, going back and forth. And little side note: this is the Sega Master System or the Sega Base, or I think the Power Base. But on here it says the Base System. This is the box as well for that. But this one came in with the Genesis, and also it came with a weird controller with a like touchpad for the D-pad. But I think I found the box for it stuffed in here, so I reassemble it. Actually, you know what? I just found it. This was the box controller that came in there. So I was like, I figure I remember about that, but that's the weird touchpad. You know what? I will also talk about the interactor. This was also, you could use this. This would play on the Sega Genesis and also on the Super Nintendo. Pretty much what it is, you wear this backpack, you hook up to the Sega Genesis or slash Super Nintendo. Anytime you get hit or anything, you feel the vibration on your back. And while we're talking about Sega, at a flea market in Pennsylvania, I found this from it's called the Video Driver, pretty much, and it was made from Sega. Pretty much what you do, you put a VHS tape, you put this little gray thing with a toy car, and you play a VHS game. and you use this to drive. And there's I believe there's something on the VHS tape where it would signal to the console saying if you're causing the wreck and you would lose points. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I saw this actually at a flea market and I saw the word Sega. I was like, oh, I gotta get that. Love my Sega. And another flea market, I had the Sega Genesis sign I found. I think I paid maybe $60. It was a hell of a sign. I love this sign because of how much I love my Genesis. I mean, Sega is just as near and dear to my heart like Nintendo. And now let's go to the loose games. Originally, with this tape set holder deal, I bought it at a flea market. It was like, you know what? This might actually fit games. And luckily, it did fit a bunch of games, like the Sega Genesis games, the Master System games, and the Famicom games. So, if you have loose games and you want to save some room, these old audio cassette tape holders, I highly suggest get it. But I got a hell of a deal for Splatterhouse 2. I think I actually paid $30 for that game loose, but that's a pricey game now. Double Dragon. I recently picked up another one for $5, but that was a hell deal. Sunset Riders, one of my favorite arcade games. You gotta love Contra. You also gotta love Battletoad games / the Double Dragon games. This is the 16-bit version of the same game of the 8-bit NES game of the same title. If you like Ghosts and Goblins, then you would love Ghouls and Ghosts because it's pretty much the same thing. Marble Madness is really good. I like Mutant League Football. Strider's a good game. Oh, I love Comic Zone. I've shown this before, but this is Virtua Racing. Back in the day, this thing was $100. And the reason why it had $100 is because they had more chips to give it a 32-bit kind of look. Because they were trying to knock off what Super Nintendo was doing with their FX chip. They called this the SVP. I think it was the SVP chip. They were going to do something else, but eventually they did the 32X. But it was too much money for them to invest to do a bunch of these games. So this was a one-off of a game. But amazingly, these $100 games are now cheap as hell. This is currently, well, actually, I was about to say one of my only unlicensed games, but I do have some other ones. But this is called From Wisdom Tree, and it's Exodus, a Bible game. Let me go up here. I like my Power Rangers games. Road Rash. I love my Road Rash. First played the Road Rash games on the Sega Channel. Beavis and Butthead is good games. Street Fighter. There's not a Road Rash. Smash TV. You gotta like that. I need to fix these labels. Mortal Kombat 3, Carmen Sandiego. The Game Genie for the Sega Genesis. This McDonald's game is actually a real good game to play. Now let's get into the more like kind of commons and games. Alex Kidd's a good game. Oh, I love that Super Baseball 2020 this year. I just remember about that. Earthworm Jim. Gotta love Earthworm Jim. Maximum Carnage is a good game. E-SWAT's a good game. And these are Japanese Mega Drive games. Mega Drive, they were going to call that in America, but there was a copyright of that name, so that's why we got the name Genesis. And I actually like Genesis a lot better than Mega Drive. Gotta have Shaq Fu, one of the worst games ever. Bugsy is okay. It's definitely better than the later ones. Paperboy 2 is good. And these are up here more of the unlicensed games from Codemasters. The same people who made this Game Genie. This tennis one game, they had these extra controller input. So you can have 4 players. I think that's kind of interesting. I've never seen anything like that where they have controller inputs on the cartridge. And there's another one right there. For some reason, I'll get these weird child games like Barney, Hide and Seek, and I actually play that. It's pretty horrible, and it's extremely easy, but it's made for kids, so I shouldn't have been too shocked about that. These are the 32X games. Like I said before, these 32X games do not come with these end labels. So if you collect for these 32X games, I highly suggest get these end labels. One of my favorite ones is got Space Harrier. Is damn near arcade perfect. Knuckles Chaotix is actually good. It gets a bad rap. Tempo is a good game. Alright, let's go over to the games in their cases. Oh, before I was gonna do that, I realized I have more Sega stuff to show off. This is one of these stupid Sega Genesis box from At Games. They're okay. If you want to play them cheaply, they're okay. The one big plus having this is this actually would play the Japanese games. I mean, technically you can play the Japanese games on your Genesis, but the cartridge won't fit into it. That was their only copyright as region locking they did back in the day. And at the same flea market with that video driver game, I eventually found the game Pods. Pretty much you play with these 3 pod things and you hit them with the lights where the pods light up, and I think, oh no, you don't hit them. You either raise your hand high or you raise your hand low, just over it. You don't hit the pods, actually. And then, this is called the Sega Pico. This system actually has the power of the Sega Genesis inside. This pretty much is, obviously you can tell it's for kids. It has, well, let me show you what the cartridge looks like. This is what you play with on the Sega Pico. It's a child's book. You can see you follow with it through the book, but it's also a cartridge. So So that's one of the oddest things in my collection is these games. Recently, I picked up this Aladdin and Lion King combo. I believe these have a bunch of other games of Aladdin and Lion King games in it. I actually had this game before. Actually sold it just to get this one. I actually had to pay a little bit more money because to get this Sega Genesis box version of the Switch copy. So to me, it's awesome because I still, it kind of brings me back in the day when I used to get new Sega Genesis games in their boxes. Love. Alright, now we move on to the Sega Genesis lane, where we left off on the Sega Master games. We have Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, very good game. Ghostbusters on Sega Genesis is actually not that bad. These two are pretty pricey. Then you go down. Toe Jam and Earl, very good game. The next one wasn't as bad. Golden Axe is okay. Some people really love it. I love this version of X-Men. Aladdin's good. There's you can't really see. There's one called Race Driving that came out with another one, but it's the same game with a different title as well. But then I love my Urban Strike games. Paperboy's good. Paperboy's always good. This is a reproduction. They actually, in America, the only way you can play this game was on the Sega channel. And that was the only way you can play it. But in Europe, they had this game came out, but it was under a different name. Mortal Kombat 3. And Double Dragon 3, the worst Double Dragon. You gotta have your Sonic games. Gotta have them all. Got Sonic 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, Sonic 3D Blast. This Sonic Classic actually has 1 and 2 on it, and Dr. Robotnik, Mean Bean Machine. And you got Sonic Spinball's good. I really like that game. There's Dr. Robotnik, Mean Bean Machine. Holyfield's Boxing, I love. NBA Jam, still means a lot. And then I remember when I was doing the thing with the Rose on the podcast, I forgot to mention about Six Pack. I believe this has Sonic as well on it. Batman. Zombie Ate My Neighbors. Battletoads and Batman. The Revenge of the Joker. Jungle Strike, like I said before. Toy Story's a real good game. Cool Spot's good as well. Micro Machine's good. You guys gotta remember when the Super Mario Brothers was on the Sega Genesis, the kind of power only for that game. Just kidding. That game, this is actually a reproduction of the 16-bit game on the Sega Genesis. Obviously, if you're a Nintendo guy, you would know that's a Nintendo product, and that would be impossible to happen. I got Road Rash 3, got Ultra Beast, and I got another game collection, 6 game cartridge. I believe that also has Sonic on there, so I have like Sonic 3 times on this in this collection. Desert Strike again. Shinobi's a good game. Lethal Enforcers 2 is a very good game. I love the arcade games of the Lethal Enforcers 1 and 2. Clax. Arcade Classic's good. This is this game I was talking about. It had a different name from race driving. Is hard driving. So they just came out the same game twice. And from the same company too. Both Tengen. So I wonder why they did that. Afterburner 2 is good. Decap Attack is good. Bar and versus Space Moons. Actually way better port. Obviously than the NES. Mortal Kombat. Love Mortal Kombat. Castle of Illusions, good game. Then you got Columns, good game. Then I got some weird games like Wacky Worlds. This is a Sonic game, but it's kind of like Mario Paint, but with Sonic characters. Where in time is Carmen Sandiego. Good game. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I still prefer the original than that game. Then Echo the Dolphin I really like. Pac-Mania is good. This is pretty much the Sega Genesis version of RC Pro-Am, so I love that. And like I said, I love my Power Rangers. And then you get more and more commons, like there's some sport games here and there. Pit Fighter's horrible. Terminator games. Echo. That's the second one. I forgot that there was Echo, and then Echo Tides of Time was the second one, and Echo Jr. is the third. The third one was the worst. Street Fighter 2. And then you get more and more games are pretty much sport games, but like Vector Man 2 is a very good game. Miss Pac-Man, you can't say enough about Miss Pac-Man. Oh, and Primal Rage is a good fighting game. Over here is going to be a little hard because it's in the corner in the collection room, but you got Lemmings. Lemmings okay. Balls. Balls was a good game. You got a sports game. Berenstain Bears. Some more sport games. You got Jurassic Park. And you got Home Alone. That's awful. Retro Pinball. It's okay. And then let's go to the 32X games. Star Wars, the arcade game's good. Mortal Kombat, a good port. Virtua Fighter is good. NBA Jam is good. Doom, even though I believe they took out some levels and no music, still a good port of Doom though. Go up here, to play these three games, you have to have not only the Sega 32X, you have to have the Sega CD. So you have to have the Sega Genesis, the Sega 32X, and the Sega CD. Managing all the wires you have to deal with. I mean, there's a ton of people who hates wiring, and I don't like wiring all over and making it a little messy, but damn, it, like AVGN says, it looks like the Sega Genesis was on life support. But as Corpse Killer, it's a good game. Night Trap is a cult classic. I had never played Fahrenheit. I should probably give it a shot. Going down the Sega CD, you got a bunch of loose in their jewel cases, so I'm not going to really mention them. And it's going to be kind of hard because, like I said, they're in the corner. But